Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Engage Insights. My name is Aaron Beatty from Engage Evolution. So, exciting announcement was just made. Benioff just visited all of the different business channels. Salesforce stock is up, and they just announced, what is it called? Einstein GPT is what they've announced. And for those of us that have been in the ecosystem for a while, we all know that Einstein is the kind of branded marketing umbrella term for everything that involves any kind of AI stuff. So they have now taken this up a notch. Benioff says they're hitting the hyperspace button, I think is what he said, to really bring Chat GPT into Salesforce in a really big way. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I've got a few videos that have been released. Salesforce has announced this. Boy, it does not roll off the tongue. Einstein GPT for marketing, for sales, for service, for developers, and for Slack. And I've actually got a video for each one, so we'll walk through them and react and take a look and see what it's all about. I also, just for giggles, have set up here so that I can actually ask ChatGPT some questions here. You're welcome to join in chat if you have any questions to ask the AI. Then we can do that. But man, it is a scary, brave new world that we are entering into with all of this stuff. It's equal parts exciting and terrifying, frankly. And I hope we know what we're getting into here. So let's start, just because I want to test it out. Let's start with the conversation with ChatGPT, and maybe ChatGPT has some thoughts about it. So give me a second to switch over, and we'll have that conversation. Okay. Hello, ChatGPT. How are you this morning? Send.
As an artificial intelligence language model, I don't have feelings like humans do. But I'm functioning well and ready to assist you with any questions or concerns you may have. How can I help you today?
What do you think about Salesforce announcing Einstein GPT today? Send.
As an AI language model, I don't have opinions or emotions. But I can provide you with information on the topic you mentioned. However, I must clarify that as of my knowledge cutoff date of September 2021, Salesforce has not announced anything about Einstein GPT. Einstein is Salesforce's AI platform that provides machine learning and other AI-powered features to help users automate their business processes, analyze data, and make better decisions. GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer, is a type of AI language model developed by OpenAI, which has been used in a variety of applications such as natural language processing, language translation, and text generation. If there has been a recent announcement regarding Einstein GPT, please provide me with more information, and I'll do my best to provide you with the relevant information.
That is interesting. All right, so let's go to a video that shows us, I think the first video is on Einstein GPT for marketing. So let's take a look at that.
For marketing. Now I want to show you how Einstein GPT can transform the life of a marketing manager at NTO. I need to create a landing page for a VIP event at the upcoming store opening in Park City. So I ask Einstein, and the template is created. I could use some help with the messaging for the campaign as well. So I'll ask Einstein to write me a campaign message for the page. And just like that,
All right, so I'm going to stop it right there real quick. Something interesting here They are not in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. They are in a marketing app in Salesforce where they are on new campaign and they're creating a landing page with GPT. So I just think that's an interesting thing to point out here. So we'll keep going. It looks like they asked for a campaign message. Let's see what it gets here.
Einstein gives me a great start at this messaging. Now I want it to be a bit shorter, so I ask Einstein again to make it shorter. And there we go, a shorter message for the campaign. Now I want Einstein to customize this with a meet and greet for skiers with the US Olympic team.
Perfect.
My custom message is generated, and I go on to my next step. Now I need to generate an image for the header, and generative AI and Einstein GPT can also generate those images.
Nice, and I got the dimensions too for that.
I want to refine it a bit, and I'm going to ask Einstein for a winter background instead.
It's fast.
Now, let's add a title and also a sign-up form to make this a really interactive experience for the customer.
Wow.
What Einstein GPT has generated here is an Experience Cloud site. You can deploy it from here or open it in Experience Cloud.
Interesting.
This is Einstein GPT for sales.
So before we get into sales, let's talk about the what we just saw there. So they said that it actually generated an Experience Cloud site, meaning not a cloud page in Marketing Cloud. And I find that really interesting. So it's very cool though. It was very responsive. It did exactly what was asked. And frankly, you know, if you're a team that has if you're a smaller team that can still get on the Salesforce platforms, a tool like that is really going to save you a ton of time. And it's going to raise the baseline from a blank slate to something that's really pretty polished right out of the gate that then you can tweak to fit exactly what you want to do, either by asking additional questions progressively or by just changing the content that it's giving you there. So that's pretty incredible. So next, let's take a look at the sales Einstein GPT and see how it works.
Let's say I'm a sales rep at NTO, a company that sells outdoor gear. On my homepage, I see that the Outscape account has been transferred to me. I can open a sidebar and ask Einstein a few questions to learn more about the account. First, let's ask for a company overview, including recent news. And there you go. Einstein used a combination of public and CRM data. Einstein also understands the CRM context, and it displays a lightweight view of the account on the left side.
That's nice.
It also generated a few actions for me. For example, I can update the account description with the overview that was generated. Einstein also picked up on the news about Outscape expanding to the US. It may know that this may be an opportunity, and it created an action to explore it. So here, Einstein generated a list of people leading the US expansion at Outscape, and I can see useful information about their role in the project. Einstein identified that one of them is already a contact, and I can automatically create contact records for the other ones.
That's great.
It looks like Maya Williams is leading the project, and I want to reach out to her. Let's ask Einstein to generate an intro email. Automatically, Einstein can generate this email that I can edit in the email composer. Notice that this email is personalized and it's relevant. Now let's ask Einstein to rewrite it using a less formal tone. And automatically, we have a less formal email that's generated. One last thing. Let's ask Einstein to invite Maya to a private Slack channel where we can communicate in real time. Now we send it, and then
Wait, where was
Slack
that?
channel is automatically created. This is Einstein GPT for service.
Okay, so before we move on there, I didn't see the actual invitation it made to the Slack channel, but still, very cool use case. And the thought that came through my mind was, so we just sent an email to a lead, to a contact in Salesforce using AI, and it generated the whole thing. The user didn't make any changes. They sent it on their way. How long before the recipient uses an AI to reply, and we end up in these sales situations where it's just AI systems talking to each other without much in the way of human engagement and involvement. Like just it. I think I saw a video at one point of like Siri and Google and Alexa all just having a conversation and like arguing with each other. I feel like we're on the cusp of that. All right, let's look at Einstein GPT for service and see how it works.
Here, I'm getting a chat message from a customer asking a question about the temperature rating of an NTO jacket. Before I can even think about an answer, Einstein GPT suggests a response. That response is contextual and relevant because Einstein GPT uses data from all clouds, unified with Data Cloud. Now, agents can always edit the generated response, but this one looks good, so I'm going to post it. The customer is asking another question, and it looks like it has more context. A ski trip to Great.
It even said, like, the reply there says, so, comma, the temperature rating, it's very good at conversational text. Like, that does not read like it came from a computer. That's very well done.
And Targhee. Again, Einstein GPT combines external data like weather conditions and CRM data to provide a relevant response and personalized recommendations. Before, agents had to look up knowledge articles, read them, extract the relevant information, and write the response in the chat. Now, Einstein GPT automates all these steps and automatically suggests the right response.
But did it actually add that jacket to their cart as part of that? Like, that would be really impressive. I didn't see that action take place there, but I don't know. I love this and I hate it. It's removing all the humanity from this. I mean, the answers are so good. They don't require tweaking. And so it's almost like a proof of concept system where you are ultimately you want to create an automation, but you end up in a situation where you need to gain the trust and comfort of all of the users before you actually fully automate it. And so you kind of partially automate it and then let the users approve what has happened until it gets to the point where they're annoyed, basically, that they have to keep approving it without making changes. And then at that point, you can go ahead and automate it fully. And I feel like we're doing that to some extent. It's interesting.
Now the issue is resolved, and I'm ready to wrap up the case. Einstein GPT automatically generates a natural language summary. I don't have to spend any time documenting the conversation. Generative AI is doing all the work for me here.
That's really cool.
And look at this. I can even turn that summary into a knowledge article and share that knowledge with everyone on my team. Einstein GPT makes agents more efficient and productive, from customer interaction to knowledge creation and sharing.
That's really
This is
cool.
Einstein GPT for developers.
All right, here's for developers.
Here we are in an Apex class called Contact Controller. I need to create a method that retrieves a list of contacts that can be used from Lightning components. So let's simply write comments that describe what the method does. That returns a list of an automatic generated smart comment that hints at what I should complete the code with. So let's accept it. I also want to limit my query to 10 records. And finally, I want this method to be invocable by
I
Lightning
like putting the
components.
instructions in as comments.
And there you go. That method is automatically generated by Einstein GPT. And it has the Aura-enabled decorator, so it's invocable from Lightning components. It has the field I requested, and it limits the query to 10 records, just like I wanted. This is awesome, but the next feature I want to show you is an additional use case for Einstein for developers. I want Einstein GPT to scaffold the test for the contact controller class. Again, let's write comments that describe what we want. And again, we have some smart hinting here, so I'm going to accept it. And there you go.
It even wrote the hinting.
The tests are automatically scaffolded by Einstein GPT, saving me time and development cost. I can review them, tweak them, and make them right before I deploy. I can review them, tweak them, and make them right for me before we deploy them. This is Einstein GPT for Slack.
All right, now on to Slack.
When I'm in my team meeting channel, I can ask Einstein GPT to help us identify top opportunities, taking into account not only CRM data, but also recent news about the economy. And when I'm in a private channel with my customer Maya, I can use Einstein GPT as my sidekick to help me answer Maya's questions. Great. And if I want more data insights, I can always go over to Tableau where I can interact with the data at a deeper level.
Wow. That is something else. So that's the initial previews of Einstein GPT for Salesforce for marketing, sales, service, developers, and Slack. It is a really great start, and it's way closer to, I think, what we think of when we think of an AI and what we think of as an AI-based tool. And I would say prior to this, Einstein felt more like perhaps a set of rules that are kind of performed in a black box and didn't really feel like AI very much. It kind of felt like automations kind of happening in the background. And now it really does feel like an actual real smart assistant. I look forward to when this is available across all of the major voice assistants, because the gap between how those assistants operate and how ChatGPT operates is astoundingly huge in my view. And the number of times that I've asked my Apple assistant, which I won't mention by name so it doesn't activate, the number of times I've asked it to do something simple and it understood me and it got the answer strangely and bizarrely wrong, that happens all the time. And maybe less so on the Amazon device and the Alphabet owned devices, but this technology is really gonna change a lot of things. And I'm honest here, I already am using ChatGPT for some of the messages that are sent out. I might write something and then have ChatGPT tweak it or make it sound more professional, or change it for impact or length. It is good at all of those things. I know there's a lot of people using ChatGPT for blog posts and things like that. So I feel like a lot of the content that's being generated right now is being generated via AI. And hopefully there's at least some tweaking happening to those to that content before it's being put out into the world. But this put me in a really weird mood. I don't know how long it's going to be before we're not really interacting with these things. We're just kind of setting them loose and they're all kind of interacting with each other. You create a blog post via AI and then somebody's AI goes out and makes a comment on it for their own visibility or publicity or whatever out on the open internet. I feel like, even as a marketing professional and someone who works with data cloud and account engagement and Pardot and all those things, the ability to use AI as a copywriter and as a image creation assistant is huge, but it seems to me like the next step here, which can't be far off, is to move from basically the persona-based marketing, the audiences and the segment-based marketing, to a literal one-to-one based marketing. So what that would mean is, the way it works right now is you would kind of predefine what your segments are. You might use AI to help you determine segments that you might not have thought of or been able to define. But then you have to create content that is distinct for each one of those audiences, using your human intuition or marketing background to create content that you think will resonate. And it's a lot of work. So like if you have a single email that has several content areas that are dynamic based on a piece of data, that takes that one version of the email into, maybe 5 or 10 versions of the email, which means there's 5 or 10 times the amount of work to create that same email. And, each person who receives it might receive a different variation of that email. And that's great. It's more effective than the one-size-fits-all message. But the next step, using a tool like this, is to feed the AI all of the information about you and not someone like you. And then to have it write an email for whatever impact it's trying to create. And with that, you really could do a one-to-one based advertising play or marketing approach or sales tactic, because it's almost like you have one copywriter and creative per person in your audience, which obviously isn't scalable with real people. And in theory, it's gonna get better at figuring out what is effective, because then the round trip of the data for whether it was effective or not in its approach is going to go back into the AI, so it will get smarter with what worked and what didn't work for you. And I don't know how I feel about that. It's great from a marketing perspective, from a business perspective, but from an end user, from a customer perspective, I don't like it. And further, I will say, I have a TikTok account. I get on TikTok and I watch videos, and it is astoundingly good at putting something in front of me that it knows I will respond to and watch, and to take that technology and apply it to all the other things, all the other communications I get in my life, and for the technology to get better to the point where when I look at a billboard, it's a billboard for me and I see it, and somebody else sees the billboard for them. It's like Minority Report. Man, that makes me uncomfortable, but that is where we are heading, folks. So, man, that left me in a really weird mood. Well, so let me switch gears then. It still is a challenging time for folks in the ecosystem, and I put out a call for people to send me an email or a direct message, or get on Engage Evolution on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, and just make a note that you'd like to be a guest on the show, or however you want to do it. We can record a video, You can record a video and send it in, or we can record one together. We can do it live if you want. I'm game to do it however, but I want to get, you know, the heroes of Salesforce, and frankly other companies that have let a bunch of folks go. I want to get you all out there. So, you know, your LinkedIn profile is great, your resume is great, but getting in front of people and letting them see your personality and letting them see what gets you excited and how you communicate, I think that's a really good way to build your brand and get your name out there. So down below here is the email address for that. It is hello@engageevolution.com. Or like I said, however you want to reach out, please do. I haven't received any messages yet, but I know there's a lot of people out there looking. So if you're watching this and you know of somebody, please let them know. Or if you yourself are interested, let me know. And beyond that, if there's a topic that you're interested in that you'd like to chat about, then reach out and we'll set up some time to make that happen too. So I'm going to wrap it up with that. Man, what an interesting thing. It's a great announcement. It's a really big deal. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes, folks. So that's all I've got. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.